Chilling. It's another day. Talking about rap. Whole lot of talking about rap
Yeah,
yesterday. A lot
yeah.
of talking. A lot of talking about rap.
A
How
word.
you
Okay,
know?
I'm here for it then because I had no idea about this. I was riding and listening to a couple of albums, but I don't know. So there's been a lot of talk going on, I guess, about Iceman.
Oh my God. I mean, social media is a fucking silo, right? Nobody realizes that you're in your own silo. And so I'm in the silo of adults, I guess, adults and people who care about social justice and whatever. And yeah, man, a lot of talk about this fucking album, and it seems like everybody hates it. Um, but if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, yo, when Iceman comes out, what do you think the response is going to be? I would have been like, everybody's going to hate it, you know. And so I think it's funny, or at least from what I've noticed, everybody who I know, people who you know from social media, um, anybody who you would think was gonna dislike Drake's album hates it, dislikes it. They talking about it all day, all day. You got people that like don't like this shit that have been talking about it all fucking day. Like I can go on. I have a friend of mine who I sort of hate watch his timeline. I met him once and he's mad cool as fuck. I'll give him a shout, my man Alf, because I like Alf. But from the minute Alf woke up, and Alf is just a metaphor because it's not just him. From the minute Alf woke up to even right now, I can keep going on his timeline. It's just Drake. It's Drake. It's Drake.
Can
It's
I
Drake.
fi-
It's Drake.
can I devil's advocate ask? Is he about is he about rap like this? Does he comment on rap like this, or these people you're seeing? Do they just talk about rap?
No, and that's an argument that I've made to Alf personally, and online is that like he's a Kendrick fan. He loves Kendrick. So if you can see if there's something that he's constantly talking about at least once a week, you know what I'm saying? It's not rap though. So like here's my thing. Nick Grant put out a very good album that I'm almost finished listening to that I enjoy. Right? Um, Action Bronson has an album that came out last week. Um, Al B. Al got an album that came out last week. AZ has an album that came out. I didn't hear anybody talking about IDK album, Isaiah Rashad. So much good shit has been out, but when it comes out, I don't see nobody talking about Nick Grant's album, right? Nick Grant has a fan base that's like this big, right? And Drake's fan base is like the size of the wall behind me, right? So when you have a big ass audience, right, it makes sense that like a part of your audience is going to be detractors, I guess.
Hmm.
So it's like when your fan base is this small, you're only going to have but so many people talking about your project when it comes out. But like, you know what I'm saying? But my shit is like, if y'all hate this nigga so much, right? If y'all hate Drake so much and everything that he does, one, are you a part of his audience? Are you a part of the fan base? So then
That's two different
what
things.
the fuck what the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, like are
No,
you a
no,
part
no,
of either of those?
no. Because I shook my head yes, and then I shook my head
Mhm.
no.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
you can be part of the audience like me, and you cannot be a fan like me. Like
Right.
I feel like I don't mind I don't mind people talking about stuff that they don't usually talk about when it's the
Hmm.
biggest shit in the world. That's that's kind of how shit works. Like for people not to talk about, I was worried when I went to go check if Nick Grant album was coming out. Cause like, damn, people ain't gonna peep this joint because this Drake album gonna come out. And then there
Hmm.
were three of them hoes. So like I'm mad about that. That's kind of the way it works. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was funny. I didn't know how this episode will go
Hmm.
since the beginning of this show. Like
We've been
the
avoiding this conversation.
year, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and I really didn't. Now it's like I never want to have a conversation. Then the album
Mm,
came out. It's like, okay, we gotta have a conversation. And it's funny when you talk about the silos or whatever or the
mm,
timeline because all I seen was niggas saying if you don't like it, if you call this album trash, something's wrong with you. And I'm
right.
like, see, and I was
See. I didn't see anybody say that. All I saw was everybody talking about how much they hate it. I saw a few people that said they liked it,
and I'm
but
like, yo, we
yeah.
have give me your timeline, I give you mine, nigga. Our
Hmm.
timelines are backwards. You know what I mean? Because I honestly, I don't. I listened. I got to like track 8 of Iceman,
Hmm.
clicked the next 3 or 4, and then I went back to Nick Grant, and then I put on Kenny Mason.
Hmm.
Like, I'm good, bro. Like, I never understood how good I was on Drake. Like,
Hmm.
I really never did until just now, bro. Like, he
Is
does
it? Do you
nothing.
just think he's whack?
I don't think he's whack. And it's funny because my girls call me whack because I used to listen
Hmm.
to Drake music. Like I used to
Hmm.
think like Drake can rap, all this stuff. These last 3 or 4 projects he's put out,
Hmm.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And it could be because I guess I'm in the Ebro high. So
Hmm.
the way I look at Drake is kind of different now. The more I look at stuff, and the battle has kind of opened some of that shit up too. As far
Hmm.
as like the era we come from is kind of easy to separate art from the artist, but nowadays it's not as easy.
Hmm.
So now when you see how uncool a person is, even though you're at the age, you understand like all of us are uncool. Like none of us are really cool. Like really, really. It's like
Yeah, no,
it's
but
like 1% of the world's really
we've
cool.
spoke on this before with other people that like I
Yeah,
can't fuck with them and therefore I can't listen to their music and just for some yeah, like the game, right?
yeah. I don't think Drake is that bad. It's just dog.
Hmm.
You gave me 3 albums, and mind you, I'm from that school of bro. I think you can rap. Can you give me a rap album, please? Maybe even just a 7-piece EP joint. Just give me that. And
But he did give you the rap album. Iceman is the rap album. Iceman, there's barely no hooks on here. There's no features. There's like a tiny there's one feature, it's Future. 21 Savage is just on that one hook. Um
or maybe I want you to rap about something.
Bro, okay. All right. So let's have this conversation, man. Like in the very first song, he's rapping for 5 minutes straight, like he always does on every album, where it's all bars for the first 5 minutes. He's talking about how he feels after the battle, about being isolated. He's talking about his parents. He's talking about his father, how his father has cancer. He's talking about how he feels his response to the fact that people are saying that he's not challenging himself enough in the music and that his own man is asking him that. 40, he says, he said the line about how 40 is telling me to dig deeper and how and his response to the fact that that people want him to challenge himself more with the content of the music. Like this is the so I'm a Drake fan. I
Mhm.
listen to all his shit. You're talking about the last 3 albums. I'm assuming you mean For the Dogs, which was the last one,
Yeah,
right? Her Loss? Is that you said the last three? That's the one with 21 Savage?
probably.
Like the last you're saying like, "Oh, these last 3 albums I didn't really fuck with them." And so I'm just
I
going
can't think of that.
in
I
I'm trying
can't
to
think of
figure
the
out which ones are the last three. I know it's For the Dogs, which I agree. I didn't really like
which
that
one was
shit.
before. What was before the 21 Savage joint?
Honestly, never mind the dance one. The dance one and the 21 Savage joint came out in the same year. So the last three, if we're just talking chronology, would be For the Dogs, some sexy songs, the one with Party Next Door, and then the one with 21 Savage. Because I think the dance one came out before the one with 21 Savage. So those are the last three. I
We're
would say
40.
that
We're 40 shows in. You know what my ears. You know how my ears are. I
well,
think you understand.
we wouldn't be listening to the R&B album to the one with Party Next Door. We didn't even talk about that shit. I don't know if it came out before we started doing the show, but I barely listened to that one because I like sing song Drake, but I don't I skimmed through it and there's joints on there that I really like. But okay, cool. I didn't like For the Dogs at all. I if we had the show back then, I would have said it. I told anybody with 2 years to listen, but he saved For the Dogs because then he puts out the disc two out of nowhere, the Scary Hour version, and all of a sudden that's just 6 rap joints. and those six rap joints, all six of them are nuts. And then, but the 21 Savage joint, I also didn't really fuck with. I think that he was trying to be tough, rapping next to 21 Savage, and his version of tough is like being mean to bitches, and I didn't really like. I was like, I kind of heard the theme of like being mean to bitches, and then the front cover is like this fake Meg with the, I'm looking at it now, this fake Meg that anybody that disses Meg the Stallion, I just don't fucking fuck with them because it's like this weird coded thing about dissing Meg the Stallion that people do, and I think that's just weird. I just think if y'all
I
niggas want
think
to fuck her, just say that because
I think I just don't
like
like his
it's just
theme.
whack.
I don't like the theme of Drake. And I think I
Yeah,
just named when you just
yeah,
said the theme. I think I
yeah.
just felt like, yeah, I don't like the theme, which is Drake, and I think that's
I can get that, and I think I think that's the complaint is, and here's the thing, but that's the most honest thing I've heard people say. If you don't like Drake, just say you don't like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's because that's fine. Like, but here's my thing: if niggas don't, maybe this is me. You said, oh, it's the biggest thing in the world, so you should expect people to talk about it. It's only the biggest thing in the world because everybody's talking about it. It's only the biggest thing in the world because all of y'all are choosing to it's music.
no, no,
You know
no,
what I'm
no.
saying?
It's
You
the
can not
biggest.
listen to it.
No, it's
You can not listen to it.
wait,
You have the option to just turn the shit off or not listen to it. Like I don't listen to shit that I don't like.
hold on. When Drake drops, you have no choice but to. It's going to reach you. It's Drake. Drake is the biggest artist. We can't deny
Yeah,
that.
but we're in the era of streaming now. So it's only reaching you because you're clicking play. You don't have
Or
to
or
listen to the
or, or you're
radio.
or you're scrolling, and you're hearing clips here and this and there, and like if you're hearing clips here and there, and you're a fan of music, you'll be like, "Fuck it, I'll go check it out." It's Drake. It's the biggest dude in the world. I like
Yeah,
music.
but
Let me see
nobody's
what you're
going to
talking
check
about.
it out. You're going to check it out to then be like, I fucking hate this shit. I hate this
Maybe
shit.
maybe
But
maybe you're
like
going maybe you're going there like, I was correct. I shouldn't have came here. And okay, I got
when
it.
Taylor
There's
Swift
two ways
album
to
comes
do it.
out, do you scroll on Taylor Swift? Because I don't.
I
I'm
don't
not a
listen
fan
to
of Taylor
pop.
Swift.
I don't
Right.
listen to pop. I do listen to rap. When Drake plays,
I listen to a lot of pop music, but I
I
don't listen to Taylor Swift.
yeah, I know, but I listen to rap, so I'm gonna listen to Drake. Like
Mhm.
I'm gonna try. You put out three fucking albums. I'm going
Yeah.
to scheme at least. I'm going to scam at least scan at least scan at least
Mhm.
one of them joints. You know what I mean? So I went back later on to check out Maid of Honor,
Right.
and nothing really caught my ear. All like I'm a this is mind you the same time Nick Grant album drop, which is
Right.
bomb as soon as you push play, and
Right.
then Kenny Mason album drop, which is way nicer. I kind of held out on too. Is way nicer than I remember him being. So it's
Mhm.
like I had no real reason to go back to Drake. But I think that's what you're saying. It's like I could say I had no reason to go back to Drake instead of saying, yo, that shit trash. I don't want y'all listen to all that type of shit. So I guess that's how that makes sense. That makes sense.
It just yeah, just for me, and maybe this is just me being salty because everybody's hating on my man. You know what I'm saying? And I can admit that. You know what I'm
Like I
saying?
was
It's
with
been a
Cole
whack
back
few years.
like I was with Cole back in the day. So I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's the same thing for Cole. Like Cole's album, um, I don't think Cole's album deserved the level of hate that he was getting. Like, oh, it's so boring and straight. Like, I don't think that's true at all. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you expect to get from a J. Cole album, that's what you got. Like, there's dope beats, dope rhymes. He's dead nice. Maybe it's too long or whatever. I was kind of upset about the fact that this is going to be the last album. I feel like you're just bowing out for no reason or whatever. But like, he does shit that annoys me a lot. But that doesn't mean that I don't like his that I think he's whack or whatever. I feel like the amount of hate mail that he receives on the social medias. I personally feel like it's not necessarily a product of whether the music is bad. It's just the fact that his audience is the size of my wall, like I'm saying, whereas Nick Grant's audience is this size. So like you would hear people talking about how much they love Nick Grant if people were listening to it. And my thing is listen to what you like. You know what I'm
But at the
saying?
same
Like
time,
listen to shit that you want to hear. Like you said, like I like rap music, so when shit comes out, I'll catch it. Like so listen to what you like, man. It's the same people for years and years and years who I've seen who hate everything that Drake does are show up to the Drake show and expect to be entertained when it's like this is the thing that you don't like. You've said you
at
don't
the,
like it over and over again.
But
This is the thing you don't like.
at the same time, like I think that irritates me with Drake, and that's probably
Mm,
just the old man in me. Is like, bro, like where's the growth? And I understand you're gonna, maybe it's this. I don't go back 3 or 4 times to listen to Drake songs,
mm.
and you definitely do because you a lot of stuff you caught in the first song that I was like, yeah, I was entertained, so I didn't go back. And you were saying he spoke on this, he spoke on this. I do remember him saying something to 40 and 40 saying something back, but I
Yeah,
didn't go back to peep exactly what was said. So I will admit that maybe he has more depth than I understand, but just because it didn't catch me the first time, and it sounded like some wine that I heard before.
yeah.
And it's like,
Well, Drake. Here's the thing. Yes. So Drake might be one of the most honest like rappers like in hip hop. He's honest to a fault because nobody wants to hear him talk about how he feels. And it's fucking weird. It's like
because I give him a lot of props because he opened up the door for me to listen to a lot of people, lot of rappers complain about their stuff. If that makes sense. Like I've really
but
listened
what's
to
he supposed to do? What's he supposed to talk about if he's
different
not
shit also.
like? But what? Like people want Drake to talk about. The one thing that Drake's not doing is Drake is not going to not be Drake. Like people pull up to the Drake show expecting to see the Kendrick Lamar show, and it's like he's not Kendrick Lamar. Like
I don't think it's
how
just
many times are we going to pan him for not talking about social issues or
oh
not talking about what he wants you to talk about? Like
no
he's
no that's
talking
two different
about the shit that matters to him.
that's two different things though. Like how long are we going to? I don't expect you to rap about I don't expect you to rap about what's important to me. Do I expect you to talk about social shit, bitch? Yes, sooner or later, grow up. Like grow up. Like
But
this
why does that mean he's growing up? Like what if
because
he
you're.
just doesn't want to talk about social issues?
I feel you, but yeah.
But like you're essentially this is what I'm saying. Like you're going to I had the analogy yesterday that I hate Greek food, right? Well, I hate Greek food. And so I don't go. There's a really good Greek restaurant called Stella's in Richmond, and everybody fucking loves it. And I've never been there. If I pull up to Stella's and I hate everything there, and I go on Google and be like, I don't know what everybody fucks with. I hate this place. I just don't like Greek food. I don't like Greek food. So regardless of who's cooking it, when I pull up to it, I'm not gonna like it. That doesn't mean Stella's is whack. Stella's is probably dope, but it's
But
just Greek food, and I don't fucking like it.
at the same time,
You know what I
I
mean?
don't.
Yeah.
I don't. At the same
I'm
time,
trying to
I
keep
don't
it to.
expect somebody to give that restaurant 5 stars or put it in the GOAT conversation.
Well, yeah, but yeah, in this particular context, that restaurant is like considered one of the best restaurants in Richmond, and I'm
Which
just
is which is
like,
Drake, which is Drake,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
Drake. Drake, one of the best rappers that ever do this shit. But I'm not putting him in the GOAT conversation, which sounds like an oxymoron after saying what I just said. But
you
that's because it's
cannot
a
put him
bunch
in
of.
the GOAT conversation. I think that's fair. Like, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? But like,
But that's the thing
I don't
about
know.
GOAT conversation. I think everybody. I think they should be agreeing. People should be agreeing on who's in GOAT conversation. That's why it's a GOAT conversation. To me, I don't feel like people should be putting up their favorites. No, we're talking about this dude's the greatest of all time because all of us kind of understand like what the greatest of all time would do, and this is what he does. When you don't do that, then I can't put you in that conversation.
But what does he not do?
He doesn't do anything else besides whine about and treat and
You
be mean
said
to women.
wine.
Whine about and be mean to women. That's all Drake does is whine about and be mean to women. I can't think of anything else he does. He does it in the club form sometimes. And
Mhm.
he made I can't remember what the song was about when he was giving money to people. So maybe that was a motivating song also.
God's plan.
Yeah, I remember the name of it. I can't remember like what he was talking about in the song. Um, yeah, I can't. I really can't. I never really thought about it, but now that I think about it, that's all he does. Especially at this point. Like back in the day, he was talking about his feelings of what the women were doing to him and being very. I don't want to say sensitive because that might sound negative, but I'm
Well,
applauding.
you're saying that he complains. That sounds negative.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about back in the day now. I'm talking about back in the day
Mhm.
when he was being sensitive and showing
Yeah.
his feelings or whatever. That's something
Mhm.
I applauded because I see like a lot more rappers doing it. But now you're still whining about what you were being sensitive about back in the day, and that seems to be
Which is, yeah.
all you rap about. Like you don't rap about anything else. I can't think of anything else you rap about.
But you're doing it right. You're saying I don't want to sound negative, but then it's like all he does is one. Like, yeah, like when you go through this album, like you're talking about a dude who got put on blast by pretty much all the biggest artists in hip hop that are not named him, right? Um, and a bunch of dudes who he felt like was his allies, right? They basically turned on him, and we still don't really know why they turned on him. Um, Rick Ross had the opportunity to talk about it this week, and Rick Ross is an example of somebody who I fucking hate. I fucking can't stand anything about Rick Ross except for his music. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if Rick Ross is I don't know why like if Game was sitting here, Game would be like, how come this nigga gets a pass? Because I like Rick Ross's music, right? But I think Rick Ross is the one of the corniest humans alive. And like this week, he had multiple opportunities to explain what the fuck his problem was with Drake and what happened, and he just
I want the
like
best for him. Like what?
yeah, a whole bunch of times gave like half answers, gave like weird answers. He sounds weird when he talks. He always mentions himself in third person. Like it's very obvious that like Rick Ross wants to be bigger than what he is, and it's weird because you're already real big.
You're the biggest nigga.
You're yeah, like it's like I don't get it. So so he got so I listened to this album like 3 or 4 times. I really
Which
enjoyed this
are you
album.
talking about Iceman? You talking about all of
Iceman.
them? Okay.
Iceman. So I only want to talk about Iceman on this show
Right.
because Iceman is the album where he's rapping.
Okay.
Like and for years we've been wanting the album where he just raps. And here it is. Here's the album where he just raps. And the beats on this album are dope. Or I shouldn't even say dope. The beats on this album are crazy. There's beats all over this album that are crazy fire. The rhymes, like Mickey Fax was breaking down the rhymes from is it Make Them Remember? He was calling it 1 a.m. in Albany, but I think it's now called
Mm.
Make Them Remember on the album.
Oh, okay. So that's the one. Okay, okay. 'Cause I didn't see that
Though,
on there. I heard about it.
yeah. Hold on. Yeah, it's Make Them Remember is the one. And he called it 1 a.m. in Albany on when it dropped on Thursday night, or was it Wednesday night? And Mickey was breaking it down. Like the bars on here are insane. Like the entendres, the metaphors, the flows. Like you said, you got to track 8, which means you skipped National Treasure, and National Treasures is bonkers. Like this whole album is full of you skipped Too Hard for the Radio, which is the Bay Area joint that P-Lo produced. You missed Firm Friends. There's joints all over this shit. But the things that he's talking about is what I want to say. He went through, I would say, I tried to say yesterday he's the most battle tested MC in the history of hip hop as far as nobody's checked another rapper more than rappers have checked him. I think Jay-Z has a lot to argue about as well. That Jay-Z is probably up there, but let's say Drake is one of the 5 most battle tested MCs in the history of hip hop, just so that we don't have to argue about it, right?
And only
He's
got
up
one
there,
L.
huh?
And only got one L.
No, I'm not. I didn't say he had just one L. He has 2. I would say
Okay. What's the second one?
Pusha T.
My bad.
Yeah,
My
he
bad.
took the L to Pusha T, but he took the L from Pusha T in the court of opinion, but he didn't take the L from Pusha T with raps. Like when it came to raps, he was rapping his ass off in that record. He just got trumped by, Pusha T set the bear trap for him. Mine, but either way, he he got betrayed by people he thought was his team, his allies. A weird situation with J. Cole, which J. Cole has obviously shown that he's a weirdo, and the shit with Cameron, I think, exposed like how he's kind of a weirdo. And so between that and the shit that he's going through with his family, and also just like the trappings of being famous, which is a theme throughout all of his music, is that Drake is like a lot of people. I don't think enjoys he enjoys being famous, but it's a double-edged sword in how hard it is to be as famous as he is. So that's what he's talking about throughout the whole album, and it's like, should he not talk about that? Like, should he not have a grudge? Like he feels like his record label turned his back on him because the record label is the same record label as Kendrick Lamar. So all the same shit they did to promote you, Drake, they did to also promote Kendrick. But it just so happened that Kendrick was going at you, and so he felt like they betrayed him. Is that a contradiction? Yeah, I think it is. But that's how he feels about it. He felt like, yo, y'all should have had my back a little bit more. I'm supposed to be your flagship artist, and this dude is putting arrows. People talked about him being a pedophile. that shit became a
You
joke.
spoke on it.
He didn't speak on it, but I'm saying like you're Drake and you go from being Drake to now you're like basically public enemy number one overnight, even though you didn't do shit, right? You just got dissed. You got dissed, but there's not like a thing that he
Hold on, you
did.
got this, and everybody started exposing the stuff they didn't like about you that you was doing. It's not like
No, I'm saying like he didn't it's not like he got canceled for something that he did. Right? You know how like people get canceled because they wrote a tweet that said nigger and somebody spotted it or like he smacked some bitch and it came out oh he slapped a woman and now it was just this thing that kind of happened out of nowhere like Kendrick dissed him and it felt like it was out of nowhere, right? Because the third party shooter thing that he did with Cole wasn't explicitly dissing Kendrick Lamar. Like they might have had like a few lines here or there that if you listen real close, you could be like, oh, they're talking about Kendrick. When I listened to first person shooter, I didn't. It wasn't clear to me that they were dissing Kendrick Lamar.
hold on,
I
pit
just thought it
stop.
was a cool song.
So pit stop.
Yeah.
When when you heard those little bars doing that little spat,
And
when you seen all the think pieces about all the little bars they were sending at each other back in the day, back and forth. You can't say that you don't understand why the Kendrick joint happened.
no. Yes. No, I'm aware of that. I'm not talking about why Kendrick dissed him. Like that's obvious.
Mm.
You got you got to remember this all started with Future. Like Future dissed him. Like
Who's feature on his Who's feature
This
on the album?
This Kendrick feature was on Future's album. Future and Metro having problems with him was seemingly out of nowhere for most of us. We were like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why is him and Future beefing?" And now Ross is in this shit. Why is Ross in this shit? And then Travis Scott was kind of amping it up. And then it's like, wait, isn't DJ Khaled supposed to be his man? Are they gonna squash this? No, like this is wild. You know what I mean? Like so on top of the fact that like we're
Hold on. So
finally getting the back and forth.
when niggas came out of nowhere to diss him, did they not give their reason why they diss him or why they didn't like what he was doing?
Nobody really did. Like we still don't know why Future did all of this shit. Future has not come out to say what happened. Metro Boomin hasn't come out to say anything. Rick Ross attempted to explain it this week, but it really just, from the beginning, to me, it looked like Rick Ross was just clout chasing. It looked like Rick Ross was just jumping on top of the bandwagon to diss this dude. Obviously, something happened. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't know what it was. Like, the only thing that I can think of is that maybe Drake is the things that you and I think are is just bars and just rapping to be rapping that maybe he's actually dropping little breadcrumbs to everybody else and really kind of jabbing everybody else and like things that I listen to that I'm like, oh, that's just
I mean,
a bar.
I
Is
think
him actually dissing his peers and we
I
just
think
didn't
that's
know
the
it.
whole point, though. You're saying nothing happened and niggas came out the blue to diss him. No, like somebody opened up the floodgates. If this is dude that been dissing me the whole time, so fuck it, I'm gonna jump on and diss him also. I have reason
So then why not say that though? But why not say
because
that?
you already
Nobody's made it clear. Nobody has said
because he dropped breadcrumbs also. So I'm dropping some more breadcrumbs, and y'all two can put two and two together because they be doing think pieces now that they can talk for me. Like that's kind of how this shit goes.
these aren't breadcrumbs. This is a whole fucking bakery that niggas hit him in the face with. Like this is the biggest. I don't think I'd be hyperbolic to say that this was one of the biggest moments of Drake's career when he basically got shit on by half of the industry overnight and nobody knew where it came from. Like maybe that makes me a casual, but I would say a majority of people when this was all happening, nobody really knew where it came from. It's not like there was like an Instagram post, right, where Preacher and posts a picture of him and Drake next to each other and puts a big X next to Drake or something. Something that we could be
Hold
like, oh shit, like
on.
there's something's
It
coming.
was so many think pieces on why stuff happened. Ain't didn't Drake and Future the whole thing happen over a chick? Like
But think
always.
pieces from who?
But I'm saying that because you just said Instagram. From the world, Instagram and YouTube were full of think pieces of
No,
white
but
people.
I'm talking
You talking
about
about them
from
people saying it? They're not
them
gonna.
themselves.
But I
Like,
mean, but Kendrick and nobody does that. That's not the way of the world. Like
hold on,
nobody.
is my camera?
You
Can you
still
see
here?
me?
You still here?
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
But
Oh, okay,
that's the way of the rap world, right? Nobody does that. We rappers say shit, and then the people figure out what it is. Like that's been rap for the longest time.
The people think
Even when
people
Hov gets
think
people,
that they figure out what it
oh
is.
yeah,
They think
and the
that they
rappers
figured
leave
out
it,
what it is.
and the rappers leave it at that. They don't come
Leave it
confirm.
ambiguous.
Yeah, they don't come confirm it. That's nothing new. I
But
love
don't
that.
you think that this situation is a little bit more unprecedented in that this was supposed to be your man? Like him and Rick Ross have done like over 10 records together that we know about that are out. This is not the same as Jay-Z and Game throwing shots at each other, right? They have no affiliation, they have no connection. For whatever reason, they don't like each other. They threw shots at each other. They were nobody, neither one of them said each other's names in particular, but it was pretty obvious who they were talking about, right? Like, it's not the same as like even like Cameron and Jay Z having the thing with each other the way they did. Like these are like
Why is it no
other than
pissed off?
Kendrick,
Pissed off. No, pissed off. Why isn't it like Cam and Ho? Why isn't it like that?
because their relationship being adversarial sort of had an origin story. Like he was on Rockefeller. There was some sort of falling out between Dame and Cam and Jay. This was all shit. Like nobody needs to write a think piece about why Cam and Jay and Jim sort of had
All
this
these
weird thing because we
all
all
these
saw
origin
it play
stories with
out.
Drake, all these origin stories with Drake beef seem like they're over a chick. Besides
But
Kendrick,
you said
all of
seem
them.
like, but we don't know that. And
The
even
same
and
thing
even
with the
Drake says
same
that he
thing,
doesn't know that.
but the same thing with Cam and Hove. It seems like y'all are beefing because y'all are just Hove is bigger than Cam and didn't want to let him shine. We have no actual facts on that.
But that's not. It didn't seem like anything. Like we knew what was happening in the Rockefeller shit. Like Dame named Cameron like president of the label, and he made the announcement by himself. And Jay Z had nothing to do with the announcement, and neither did Biggs. And it created this fracture between all of them. Like this was all shit that we don't have to speculate about. The thing and I'm not talking about Drake versus Kendrick. Drake versus Kendrick was obvious, right? Because if there's one thing that I didn't need an explainer for, it's obviously those two. Though the breadcrumbs were there, we knew it was going to happen. It was a matter of time, and it happened. But if you're talking about beef between, this is like I'm trying to give a better example. I mean, these are all people that he's supposed to be teamed with, like him and
Yeah, and
him
you're
and
supposed
Metro,
to,
him and
and you're
Future,
so you're
him and
supposed to be teaming
Ross.
up with me, but there's also a rumor that you're with the chick I used to mess with, or this chick or whatever. But
But
we're it's known that Drake is known to mess with your chicks or your ex chick or whatever. This is all stuff that I heard about that you think you know from the music. You're like, oh, that's just bars. But did you
mhm.
find out, oh, that he actually did that? Like this is all stuff that came out during this little battle. So it's like it's understandable that everybody's coming out left field because there's more think pieces coming out. Like,
I
dude,
mean, I
at
get, but
home, and
you
then you
you
find
keep
out that
saying think pieces. You're talking about random dudes on the internet that are like piecing together the things that they say, and I
because
enjoy those videos,
that's the
but that
culture of the
doesn't mean
game
it's
now.
fact. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's fact.
Neither did it back in the day. Neither did it back in the day. That's the game. It didn't in the day. It didn't back in the day like that. And the source, you were hoping they were facts. It's just now the fact there's more access to more source magazines, so there's going to be more of them than are trash. If that makes sense. They're gonna be more that you gotta. They're gonna be more of them that you shouldn't be opening that magazine. But then you find the one that you like, and you keep going to that magazine, and you start spouting what they're saying. So that's all I'm doing.
Mm.
When I go to
Shit
you,
that makes
my
sense.
lady,
Yeah.
when the shit happened with Drake, my lady found somebody on YouTube that the dude with the dreads and some little shit in the background, some green shit in the background. The
Mm.
stuff he talked about, he had so many facts where we kept going back to him. So when I say
Mhm.
think pieces, I'm mostly talking about the shit that he was saying
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
she enjoyed watching Drake fall. It was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I learned so much more about not just rap or the behind the scenes shit about it, but just what's going on with that shit. Like, you know what I mean? All the stuff that you be telling me about stuff in New York,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just got to go off what you're telling me. Just like
Yeah,
we have to go off what
yeah.
they're telling me. You know what I mean? Somebody come in like, this dude give me a think piece and he talking about you. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? So we can't dismiss think pieces because now we're giving think pieces. I think.
I'm dismissing them in this case because like I can have people explaining what they're saying in the raps, but we're talking about what appears to be a fracture behind the scene between friends. And if that's something that happened, I can't listen to some dude who's making content for views giving his explanation of it, and then assuming that that's what happened. If you're going to explain to me what's being said in the raps, then for sure you can give me the context. But this thing is, these are personal gripes between people that have personal relationships with each other, and we don't know what the fuck it was. And the whole point of us going down this rabbit hole was basically me saying, doesn't he have a right to talk about this? Like, shouldn't he talk about it? Like, if this is one of the most significant things that you've gone through in your career, and I would say this is right, there's flashpoint moments of Drake's career. This clearly is one of them. You know, him being, excoriated the way that he was. How come him talking about it and giving his side of it and clapping back
Because it don't
and
sound
doing
new.
all how come
Because it don't sound
that's
new.
not whining?
It don't sound. It don't sound new. It sounds like what you've been doing the entire time, bro, nigga. Like it just sound like it
He's
just it's
but that's not, but it's just not true though. Like it's not. Like, I'm a rapper. Do you want me to change the tone of my voice? Like,
no 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 no. You can't.
I'm talking about the things that have happened to me since you last heard me, right? These are the things that I'm talking about, and you're saying it's not new. Like, what does that mean? Like, these are
You can
what
admit there
else
are
is he
rappers.
supposed to
You
talk
can admit
about?
there are rappers that have got better over time and started talking about more shit the more they grew. Like you can admit that there are rappers that you didn't like when they first came out, and then you went back and checked for them, and they got better. Either they got better because they started talking about stuff.
You can also admit that in the Hall of Fame, if you name the 25 Hall of Fame rappers, 15 of them have not talked about anything different over their spans of their entire careers.
And I will say I don't like this shit. Just like I'm saying
That's
right now.
but there's a bunch of them that you do. Of course, you like Wayne,
Do
right?
I?
You don't like Wayne. You don't
We've
like
been
Lil
through this.
Wayne.
No, we've been through this. Why? Because they don't talk about shit. We had this same conversation weeks ago. Wayne doesn't talk about shit. And then you argue, and then you came back and told me the song that he did argue about. Like, did he talk about real? That he did talk about something
Plenty,
really important. And I'm like,
plenty.
yeah, you're right. But it's like a plethora of music for the longest time that showed no growth. And what was the one thing you said?
But why
Why
are
do I
you?
expect him to talk about social stuff? Why not, my nigga? Why not?
Because they don't want to, man. Like, this is art. You want an artist who like, this is my art,
No, no, no.
and
I want this
you're
from a great
saying I
artist.
don't like that art. I want this kind of art. It's like, I think the most disingenuous thing that an artist can do is do something that they don't want to fucking do because other people want them to do it.
Definitely agree.
And Drake's number one thing over his career that I've seen is that, like, y'all ain't gonna take me off my fucking pivot. I'm going to be myself, and if myself means talking about my mom, it means talking about getting my feelings hurt by women. If it means talking about getting betrayed by my friends, like, I just don't understand why his struggle is 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 bitch ass shit to everybody when, like, I feel like that shit is legitimate. Like, you got dissed by a whole, like, you were the biggest dude in the world, and now you're the public pariah every time you make a fucking song. The shift between being his and being this would have an impact on you as an artist. Like, it would me. Like, and so
Yeah,
I think
so
I
for
feel
that
like he
reason,
has the right to talk about that.
so for that reason, I just expected more from this album, and I didn't get it. And
But you
I don't
also
see
didn't
it.
listen to it. You didn't
Yeah,
listen
because
to it.
whoa, I don't think that's my fault. If your album didn't catch me the first time, there's no reason for me to go back. That's not on
But
me.
you said you didn't listen to it. You said you got to 8 songs and then you skipped
Yes,
the next three and then you missed the other half of the album.
bro. If you don't catch
You
me by most niggas, if you don't catch me by by track 3, I made
hmm
it all the way to 8,
hmm
and it's like I'm wrong because I didn't make it to track 9 when you
I'm
finally
not saying you're wrong, but I'm
okay,
saying you
okay.
missed. You're saying what you. I mean, you missed half the album. You didn't listen to it.
I had no reason to. That's the whole point. I had no reason to because I'm like, okay, you're not gonna give me anything else because you haven't given me anything to this point. I think I'm around to
Yeah,
the point of I came to check this out thinking I might get something better, but it's like, all right, it's still Drake. That's cool. It's
I
not a
think
point. It's
you
not a point
came
of
to it thinking you'd get something different, and then you come to it and
better,
you hear.
better, better. I
But,
don't.
but
It did like you said. There's a lot of rap. Like I tell you about this young nigga Kurt. He whines about all the money he spent on chicks all the time, and I still
mhm,
listen to him because it's
right.
better. Some of the songs are just better. Something sounds different, but I was still laughing because he just whined about all the money he spent on chick. It is a choice. Like it's just funny to me. but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
enjoying that. With this, I'm not enjoying that, and I'm surprised by it because this is the person y'all are telling me is the GOAT. Y'all been telling me this is coming 4 months. Then he dropped 3 albums. Like, damn, am I gonna have the time to get to those three? No, because I couldn't even make it to this. Let me just hear what they did. This the playlist I want. Hey, nigga, these 3 albums, give me 20 that I should listen to. That's the one I want for next week.
I mean, I could just give you just 18. Just listen
But
to Iceman.
but I did. I couldn't.
That's all you need to listen to.
But I couldn't.
The other two, one of them is more, and I kind of don't know
Mind
the
you, I
names of them.
use mind you, I used Janet Shut the Fuck Up on my storage this morning.
um,
Fucking all this shit.
you ain't shit. You ain't shit. Nah, the Maid of Honor joint is more is like honestly, never mind.
Okay.
It's where it's like a lot of
Oh, so they are thematic? They do have
yes,
things in that? Okay, okay,
yes.
okay,
These are
okay,
not three rap albums.
okay. So I
Iceman
just
is
took
the
Ice.
rap album.
I just
Yeah,
took
yeah, yeah.
Ice Man.
You don't really need to go through all three of them. For me, just because I know what you listen to, you're probably wouldn't. For the other one, I can't even Habibi. I don't even know
I
how to
couldn't
say
pronounce
that
that
word.
shit.
Habiti. That's a R&B record. That's all of those songs are basically him singing. There's only 11 of those, and then the Maid of Honor one is more like the world music, where there's
Okay.
reggae, there's Afro beats, and there's honestly never mind. There's a couple of dance type joints. It's 14 songs, but it kind of goes fast. It's
But
not
see,
like a
the
long.
funny thing about it,
Iceman is
I
the rap
might,
album.
but at the same time,
Iceman is the rap album.
I might fuck with that one more. What was the last one you named? The World Joint? Like
Yeah,
I might pull
Maid
up
of
with it.
Honor.
I might
Maid
be
of Honor
good.
is fun. You might. So when Honestly Nevermind came out, I hated that shit. You
Mm.
can find my tweets. I was like, I hate this shit. Like, what are we doing? And then, but that was Friday, and I was listening to it on my headphones. By Monday, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I don't. I this shit is actually kind of alright.
Yeah.
And then by like 2 weeks later, it was like it is one of my favorite albums of his. And this is the other thing about growth and about I'm not getting anything different, right? Like this nigga made a whole R&B album. He gave you a whole dance album. He gave you a rap album where he did nothing. There's barely no hooks on here. I listened to it a bunch of times. Like, there's no hooks. There's no features. It's just him
There's no
rapping,
bars.
right? There's bars all over the album. There's bars all over the album.
What do you
Mickey
consider
broke
bars?
down.
Maybe. You know what's funny?
What do I consider bars? That's
No, no,
almost
no, no,
like
no,
I
no,
know
no,
you're
no,
trying to diss me.
no, no,
I
no, no,
feel
no,
like you're trying to diss me.
no, 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 no. I think that's the way stuff has changed though, because niggas will say just give a regular ass statement and it's like bars.
I
So when
know,
people
I
consider
know.
bars,
No,
it's
I don't
so
mean.
no, but what I'm saying is like nobody can
I'm
explain
about
to
to tell
me.
you.
No, nobody can explain to me what a bar is because bars to me is something different. It's not what it used to be. So I think that's what I realized when I said that statement.
All right. Um, Look up. Turbulent flights, dodging cumulus clouds, squares drawn on the line, but we at the root of it now, right? The square root, squares drawn on the line, but we at the root of it now. Feels like I got to lie to even tie, right? It feels like I got to lie to even tie, right? To tie the score. So I don't know if these are wins or not
Mm,
because of what's suitable now,
mm,
right? So the tie, the wins are not the suitable now. You don't even hear. You don't hear. He's like, you don't hear. You didn't catch those lines, right? Which is looking at you. You
yeah,
didn't catch them.
yeah.
It's true, right? Um, then he says, you put that jacket on anybody, you're funeral bound. You know what I'm saying? So he's still going with the suit and the jacket, and he's
Mm,
saying, and he says, you put that jacket on anybody, you're funeral bound. What he's saying is, should I tell a bunch of lies about Kendrick the way that they lied about me? Like, you know what fucked him up the most? Him being called a pedophile. He hasn't said it yet. Him being called a pedophile and people running with the A minor shit,
yeah,
I think that shit really bothered him.
yeah. We definitely
Because Drake obviously is notorious for getting a lot of pussy. Like over the years, you've seen the bitches that he's pictured with. Like I remember he was at Bronny's games, at the Sierra Canyon games, and there was one of those moms of one of the players' moms that he was running with, that was like some absurd broad or whatever. So
But he had
whatever.
to say, never
You
mind.
put up my bad. You said bars. You put that jacket on anybody, you're funeral bound. He's saying you call somebody a pedophile. This isn't no longer a rap beef. Now I'm pulling up, right? They say
Why,
conclusions are drawn.
but why are we saying that though?
If
Drake,
if
why are we
you
saying
if
that?
hold on, wait, let's we get into it. You
All
said
right.
what are bars? To me, that's like these aren't just he's giving you entendres, he's giving you he's tying in there's a theme to what he's saying, he's tying it in with I don't even mean to use the word tie. He's tying it in with the tie, with the suit, with the jacket, with that whole theme, with that whole scheme. He's doing that shit the whole album. The whole album, there's schemes, there's metaphors, there's and he's also telling the story about what he's talking about when it comes to his kid, when it comes even that man like on Scorpion when everybody was like, oh, here he is talking about the same shit. Yo, he's talking about his son. He's a fucking parent for the first time. He's talking about his son, and everybody's like, man, he's talking about the same shit again. It's like, really? Like, he's talking about being a parent. He wasn't a parent before. Is that the same shit? Like, he's talking about being a pariah when he used to be everybody's favorite. That's not him talking about the same shit. That's a different Drake. That's a like, hey man, like what the fuck is happening? Like what we're
But,
hearing is this dude trying to hold up his chin at a time when a lot of people would tuck it and be like, yo, man. Like
but
he's trying to hold his head up high.
all of us are saying that it sounds the same. Like, all of
Yeah,
us are
but
saying it
like
sounds the same.
and I don't think it's in good faith. I don't think it's in good faith. What sounds the same is him. He's Drake. He's rapping the way that he raps. And it's like y'all want him to do fucking cartwheels and do something different on the like the only thing that
Are you saying
sounds
there's
the
no other
same
rappers like
is
this?
that he's rapping.
Are you saying there's no other rappers like this that we have high expectations of that just won't change?
But no, what I'm saying is that he is changing. He is changing. Like you got three albums. One of them is a whole dance album. One of them's an R&B album. The other one's a hip hop album. What rappers are giving you what rappers have cross genres the way that this dude has? And we're still saying it's the same. It's like, oh, this is the same. It's the same Drake. The topic, the subject matter is changing. The type of beats are different. The genre music, he works with art. You got the More Life album where he basically got with, the dudes from London, and he had Georgia Smith on there, and he had Sampha on there, and then I also got people from the South, and I'm doing more Canadian shit, and I'm doing reggae shit, and I'm doing Afrobeat shit, and I'm doing dance music shit, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I think
boo,
I
this is
think it
all the
just
same. It's like, what are you talking
I
about?
think I
The
summed it up
only,
in I think I summed it up at the beginning. Is like I just realized I just don't like Drake shit. I think that's kind of what it is, and I think that's when it comes to music, I don't think anything's wrong with you just saying I don't like somebody's shit. I do think it's something wrong with you saying I don't like nobody's shit and then just continue to trash their shit, which is what I would try not to do. But since we're having a
Mhm.
conversation, I will give my viewpoints. But I just think it's
Yeah,
that I realize that I don't like Drake shit, and it's like what
yeah.
you're saying is like, yeah, but you already knew that, but you came in expecting something different, so now it's kind of on you. So stop trashing my man. And I can understand.
Nah,
I agree.
nah, and I'm not necessarily saying that to you, but if yeah,
It's
like
your fit.
yeah, I guess right, because that's what I'm saying to everybody, or the criticism that I've seen online for him.
Yeah.
It just I think that I've made my case that like that the arguments that you're making are essentially in bad faith. Like, if you don't like him, you don't like him. But it's not because he's not changing up his shit. It's not because he's not giving you something different. He's doing all of that shit. And what is very clear is that it doesn't matter what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like when he
That's art
made
though. That's
the
art though. Like it don't matter what you do, how much changes you do. If a person doesn't like it, they don't like your art, and that's just simple as that.
but don't say that it's because he's doing the same thing because he's definitely not.
But
Not
if
with
I'm
the
looking at your
subject
art,
matter.
if I'm looking or hearing your art and it sounds the same to me, you're doing the same shit. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about if I'm hearing the
Mhm.
same shit. Stupid as that sounds, I don't care what you're saying if I'm hearing the same shit. There are niggas that would say that hip hop is just about killing people and selling drugs. and we're like, what
Right.
the fuck are you talking about?
And that's obviously categorically false.
And so I'm just saying, like, that's to that
You
person
sound
hearing
like
you.
Slim Charles right now. Remember Slim Charles and from The Wire when he told Avon he was like, "Yo, if it's a lie, then we stand on the lie. Then we're gonna ride for the lie." You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like you're
sadly enough,
standing on some shit that you know that you're saying is not true. Like you know it's some bullshit, and you're standing on it because like I just don't fuck with it. I just don't like it. And
because
so
no, no,
because
no,
I don't
because that's
fuck
what
with
art
it,
is, though.
I'm gonna stand on whatever it is that I'm saying, even though that's probably not true. I'm just gonna say I don't like because I
No,
just
no,
don't
no,
like
no.
it.
I'm saying that's what art is. I'm saying that's what art is. Like something, if you don't rock with something, you don't rock with something. You don't understand why you don't. Look at LeBron. We don't understand why people don't think LeBron is the GOAT when it's in front of your eyes. But
Right.
it's just you don't understand why. So with Drake, everybody's telling me to go, and I just don't like his music. And I don't really understand why. Because like you said, he's doing a whole bunch of different shit, but it just
Correct.
all sounds the same to me. I can't really break down why. Like I will admit, I will go back and listen to Iceman. That's probably the problem I have with this show. The fact
Yeah.
that for one,
We have to react to shit so fast. Yeah.
yeah, but honestly, we don't. And I think this is the one time, and I think we did the same thing with Cole because these are two
Mm,
artists that we are very passionate about.
mm.
So the comment it will be more digging and defending because this is the part that I like. When really it's like, yo, we haven't really had time to dissect this stuff. Like we really haven't. Like I
Yeah.
tried to listen to it because I wanted to talk about it, and I really just wanted to get your opinion. And then the more and more we talked about it, I'm like, oh, I really don't. I don't think
The fact that you di- the fact that you got through 8 songs and you didn't listen to the other 11 is a very me thing to do. I do
but,
that
but
shit
but
all the time.
mind you,
I
but
don't feel
mind you,
obligated to listen to shit if I don't want to, and I just be like, nah, I'm not listening to it. I just
mind you,
think,
this is after
whatever.
listening to Nick Grant. Like I
Hmm.
listened to Nick Grant album first. I should have did the other way around. Like I
Yeah,
listened to Nick Grant album. I want bars. I'm here for that. And I'm waiting to get to Kenny Mason.
right.
You know what I mean? So and I'm mad you got three of these hoes, and I don't know which one to listen to. And it's like, man, you ain't hitting where I want to hit yet. I'll come back to this. Like that's kind of how
I will. I'm gonna tell you now. Nick Grant's album's not better than Iceman. Not the beats,
that's
not the lyrics,
very
or anything else.
that's
It's not.
very that's that. I mean, but that's art. That's art. That's definitely art because to
He
me,
he's not
but yeah,
rapping. Nick Grant is a very good rapper. He's not a better rapper than Drake. Like Drake is an incredible rapper. Like from bars, just from like bars, bar for bar. Like if you were sitting here like rating them like in the scouting combine and shit. Like the beats aren't. I just listened to Nick Grant's album.
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
like
whoa.
Nick Grant's album.
Let's before we get out of here, let's stick
Yeah.
let's go on a tangent about lyrics
I'm.
and bars and
Uh,
metaphors and because
mhm.
when you said when you said Nick Russ not a better rapper than him, he's not a better
He's
rapper than
not.
him. The second time you said rapper, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because I distinguish between rapper and MC. When it comes to
Mhm.
metaphors and doing shit with words, Nick
Mhm.
Grant is better than Drake. When it comes to
No, he's
creating
not.
songs, when it comes to creating things, when it comes to creating a whole bunch of shit, I will give that to Drake. Drake is
Mhm.
probably a better artist than Nick Grant. But when it comes to just what the pen does with the words, I'm going Nick Grant.
I'm talking to that
The
part.
same way,
I'm
the
not
same.
saying he's a better artist than Nick Grant. Like
Hmm?
I think Nick Grant is a great artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when it comes to artists, I'm not gonna quantify who is a better artist, right? Like that to me is very subjective,
Mm.
and you can enjoy one
And this
person's
was
art
pissed
better
off.
than
That's what
another.
this whole conversation is about is subjective. But go ahead, my bad.
But I'm saying objectively, if
Mm.
I was grading rappers like you were grading wide receivers at the combine,
Like the Cool G rap list from back in the day.
yeah. Oh no, no, that wasn't Cool G Rap. That was
Who
Cool
was
Mo
it?
D.
Cool
That
Mo
was
D.
Cool
My bad,
Mo
my bad, my
D.
bad. Yeah.
Correct.
We need to break
I
that
love
joint
that
out.
fucking
We need to
list.
break that out though.
Yes, we do. I love that he's so fucking petty that he did that. That he graded them that way.
Wow, being in the game, nigga.
Yo, just like like actually your delivery is a 7 out of 10 and not an 8. Like I just love that shit. But but yeah, exactly. On some scouting combine shit. And I meant that to be spicy for a reason. Because people just don't give this dude credit for whatever reason for being as nice as he fucking is. And he is that nice. And yes, I just listened to a whole album of Nick Grant and his metaphors and his rap ability and his this and that. He's not a better rapper than Drake. Drake, we have first of all, this dude has been at the top of fucking hip hop music for like 16 years now.
That's not
Like that
because
shit
he
is not
That's
as
not
this
because he's been nicer than every other rapper. That's because he created
but
great songs.
the work is there though. The
But the entire
scrutiny.
time,
Nick
niggas been
Grant has never
complaining.
faced scrutiny the way that Drake has.
The entire time,
Never.
niggas have been complaining because Drake would not give us a straight right album, and you're saying that he's a
Until he
better
did.
rapper than niggas.
And he did it twice.
And then every time he did it, we were like, "Yo, we're still waiting on a rap album." So we're not getting this rap album that you keep saying. These are not raps. When we talking about bars and shit, that's not what he's giving us, bro.
This is it.
No, it's
This is
not.
it. He did it for a whole album. And it's
But
like,
it's
no, it's not.
not.
What do you mean? How are they not bars? What is he supposed to rap? Like, what is he supposed to be doing? Like, I'm playing it. I know you can't listen to it.
Yeah, no,
It
actually, I can't
pisses
hear
me
the words,
off.
but I hear it.
That's the one part of this damn show that we need to get straight is the fucking audio. But I mean, I don't.
I
It's
will go back and
the
listen to it.
work all the timestamp songs. Like,
Bars.
I'm sorry, like this dude, like and the one from the last my favorite of all the timestamp shits is the one with Conductor. Um, the what
So
is
when
it?
it comes to words, rhymes, and metaphors, Drake is up there
Yes.
with Ransom.
When it comes to words, rhymes, and metaphors, Drake is up there with anybody. Anybody. And I mean that. And he's proven it. He's proven it. Like he's been on songs multiple times with the best MCs in the world, and he ain't never been holding nobody's fucking jock. He ain't never held Jay-Z's jock strap. He ain't never held Lil Wayne's jock strap. Anytime you've heard him on records with Eminem,
And the,
with right? He didn't have the best fucking verse on Forever. Like I know everybody loves the for me the best verse on there is last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle boy, I ain't nothing to play with. And like this is like when
so
nobody
so
really
so
knew
so
who
so
he
so 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 so
was.
so. So if
You know what I
niggas
mean?
is saying that's what we've been wanting from Drake, and we're not getting it, why are you mad at us? Like you when you give us the example of the shit that he was doing back then, and we're saying, yo, that's what we've been waiting for. And we keep saying that every time he gives us what you're claiming is the rap album. Why are you
Yeah.
mad at us? Like that
Go
what you just gave me right there, that
because
whole
he's
part, that
doing
whole era, that's what I missed. Like
yeah.
when Drake first came out,
Mhm.
that's what we thought we was gonna get. So it goes back to what you're saying is
Because he's
why
doing
you
it over
compare.
and over again. The reason I'm mad at y'all, the proverbial y'all,
No,
is
it's me, nigga.
because
You mad at me, nigga? Let's go.
is because he's doing it. He's done it over and over again. If you want the examples, they're all there. I can give them to you. You know what I mean? Like on Certified Lover Boy, you got
But look,
Champagne
we keep
Poetry.
saying give us a rap album, and you keep going to tracks off an album.
No, I said Iceman, the one
And
that
we
just came out. It's the one that y'all asked for.
and we told you that's not a rap album, just like when you told us the Scary album
So
was,
what kind
and
of
that kind of
album is
was.
it? So
I
what
don't
kind of album
know.
is it? We don't
I
know.
don't know. I
Is he
have to
not
admit,
rapping?
I don't know. I have to admit, I have to go back and listen to it because the first time I listened to it, it didn't sound like it was rap. It sounded like the same old Drake. Like it wasn't. It just it didn't hit me like that. Like I said,
When you
I didn't
go
make a
back
track
and
now.
listen, all right.
I
When you
definitely
go
will.
back and listen to this, Iceman, what you're not gonna hear is hooks. You're not gonna hear features. You're not gonna hear. You'll hear a few singing Drake moments because he's him, but this is 18 songs of rapping. All
Mm.
the whole album, it's just raps. The whole fucking album. He saved all the other shit that people don't like. Which, by the way, I do think a good bit of the criticism for about Drake over the years has been like he just kind of talks too much about girls. He talks a lot about bitches, and like people don't like that shit. You can't
I
be.
mean, that
There's
goes with
no.
the grow up part though. That goes with the grow up part though. Like it's like, but it's like, wow, we have expectations of
And also like, why is this your definition of my growth pattern? Like, what if this is I'm just living my fucking life and this is how I want to live and this is what I want to talk about. Like I think it's really fucking weird to be like, yo man, you need to grow up.
Oh,
Like
whoa, whoa,
I,
whoa, whoa. Because
I've
we do that
always
with
thought
every
that that's a
person.
weird critique of him, huh?
But we do that. Because we do that with everybody. Like we do that with everybody. We gave props to Hov when he changed. We just started to switch up to the buttons. Up. Like we give you props for your growth. Like that's not you can't. It's not that we. I mean, I guess you change goalposts for everybody, but it's like everything we're saying about Drake. I'm just asking logical questions that we ask about every single rapper,
I think
and
the only
and then we
thing
hold other rappers accountable for also. Like I still don't like the fact that Kiss sells drugs.
in his raps, yeah, I was gonna mention Jadakiss,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like yeah. But so like I mean, I want more growth. Like I don't. I like it when I see Styles. Styles grew. He still punches, still sells drugs, but he
Mm.
still sells. You know what I mean? He has
In the
achieved
bars, I
everything too. So
guess, yeah.
that's the growth. Like I have as an artist, I think every fan to an artist should have expectations. It just depends
I
on how
think
hard you go on, how
if you're
hard you
gonna
go.
if you're gonna rap if you're gonna rap about being insecure,
Hmm,
if you're gonna rap about being insecure in your personal relationships, in your friendships, with your status, with your fame, with the way that you parent your child,
yeah, I couldn't agree
like
more.
that's a lot of growth to me. Like that's a hard. You're talking about me, a rapper who stopped rapping because I could never move from rapping about raps to rapping about myself as a man,
Hmm.
right? Remember that was like I always said like that's the part of my pen that I just couldn't really master, and I stopped wanting to hear myself rapping about rapping, and I just kind of grew out of it or whatever, right? Like this dude, the theme of this album is retribution,
Hmm.
pain, and insecurity. And like, if you're rapping about that, instead of trying to explain to everybody about how much you still think that you're the man, which he does a good bit of that, but he also does a whole lot of questioning himself. I mean, the name of the songs, Make Them Cry, Burning Bridges, Plot Twist, What Did I Miss? What did I miss, man? Like, I know that that was a song that everybody kind of like, it kind of came and went, but like, he's saying it like, hey, man, like, where was the part that like that we wasn't homies no more? Like we were supposed to be tight. I made songs for all of y'all, with all of y'all. We were all team, and now I'm not. But what the fuck? What did I miss? Like like
You
firm
missed that you
friend.
did back. You did behind the shit stuff with the. I don't know because I don't want to
That's
keep.
what you're saying though. Those
Yeah, but at the
dudes have
same
not
time,
said
bro, like,
that.
but at the same time, bro, I now believe that the locks won't the niggas that he told me were because you told me.
Mm.
So why can I not believe that Drake did this because somebody else told me? That's kind of that's called word of mouth, bro. That's how information travels, dog. It's not every once in a
It's
while there's
also how
somebody that comes
lies
and stamps it.
travel.
I'm about to say every once in a while there's somebody that comes and stamp that, but I mean, but at the same time, so now but a bunch of people saying the same stuff is kind of now
But
opinions
my
or
my point is my point in mentioning all this is that he's you can hear the theme in the song titles, and if you listen to the music, you know what I'm saying. The growth to me, it's like if you can rap about being in pain, if you can rap about being insecure, like I think a lot of the critique in him is about Drake the man instead of Drake the music, right? It's like damn Drake, how often are you gonna cheat on bitches and then be surprised when they don't want to stick around, right? That's a theme throughout a lot of his albums. It's like, hey man, uh, I ran off with this other chicks, but you was really the special one, and I was gonna get back to you. He's made like 30 of those songs, and people are like, hey man, when are you gonna get over the fact that girls aren't gonna be loyal to a dude who's not loyal to them, right? Like I get that, but it's also a lot of the critique that we have about him, like why hasn't he grown up or why whatever, is because he's like giving you his actual feelings. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of rappers who ain't really giving you feelings about shit that has to do with like their wife. You know what I mean? Like Jay-Z finally had some bars that had to do about his wife, and it became like the biggest thing ever because he's talking about his personal relationship. Drake has been talking about his personal relationships his whole career. Everybody's like, boo, like grow up. We don't want to hear this. Like if you listen to the shit that he's
hold on,
saying over his whole career,
Hov was doing the same thing. We would assume when he was just fucking bitches. Drake was just talking about the fact that he was just fucking bitches. It was just random bars. And then
it
Hov got to a point where he started talking about his wife. Like, why are we mad at
and it became and that's growth, right? But
that?
like,
That's all. That's
but
all it be saying. That's all I'm
but
asking.
Drake isn't doing the same thing. Like his
No, you
growth
just said it
arc.
yourself,
You're
though.
judging him as a man, and
Mm.
like yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like we're judging him as a man, and we're not judging him as an artist.
I think I
And
admitted that.
that's why you're saying why don't you grow up? And I'm not talking about you. I'm
Oh, this
talking.
is about me, nigga. This is what we doing. This is me versus you, dog.
Because I'm it's like I'm using you as a proxy for all of the arguments that I've seen people have for him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I think it's okay to admit that like you don't like him as a person, but you can't say that his growth arc as a person not happening the way you would want it to be is the same as his growth arc as an artist. That the growth arc through the music hasn't happened, or that he doesn't make mature music, or that he makes music for, I've seen it's like he makes music for 40-year-olds that still play PlayStation 5 or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like what
He
he
make
is what he is a grown ass dude who's not going to get. You know where the growth arc is not happening for him, that it happened for J. Cole, that happened for Kendrick? He's not going to get married. He has one child that he had by accident, and if it wasn't an accident, he wouldn't have that child. This is a dude who's scarred by divorce, right? He's talked about it extensively, how his parents getting divorced
Yeah, I don't repeat. I don't repeat.
fucked him up.
I don't repeat track. I don't repeat tracks. 'Cause you're telling me so much about this guy.
He's talked about the relationship of his parents extensively throughout his entire career, and how that has molded how he sort of deals with women, and also the fact that he's as famous as he is, he can't have the same type of relationship with women as other people. And so you would say, hey, Drake, but you're choosing fame. J. Cole and Kendrick, they didn't choose fame. Kendrick stepped away from music for 5 years so that he could be a father and a husband. J. Cole has made it very clear that he wants to be a father and a husband, and he wants to step away from it. It's like, hey, Drake, you're choosing this life. Therefore, you're making that choice over the growth that you would experience by just being with one woman and growing up. And so we're judging Drake the man by making those choices and saying he's a bitch ass nigga because he's choosing to be that. And that's probably true. Drake might not be my man if I was friends with him. But that doesn't mean that his music isn't changing, that his music isn't growing, that he's not doing different shit, saying different shit that he was saying before. And I guess the perspective you get from me is I'm a dude who actually listens to his music and listens to it over and over again and has listened to it over years because I actually enjoy it. And so I think if you're gonna come from the perspective of I listened to 9 songs, wasn't really checking for
No,
him,
no,
didn't
no.
listen to the other
You can't
11,
do that. You
then you're
can't do
getting
that.
the opposite from me. I'm some
No,
no no
no.
no.
I'm saying
I'm
no,
saying
no,
you're
no.
getting somebody that's dug deeper into it than you
And
have.
I'm saying from me, a person that enjoys music and really want to enjoy Drake music, I just
Yeah.
don't. And I'm realizing that. Like I think that's
Yeah. And that's a level of honesty that I feel like people should just be okay with. Like you just don't like him and you're not going to listen to what he does regardless of what he does. So once you start to get into the think piece element of it, when you start to critique the he doesn't do enough of this, he doesn't do enough of this, and he doesn't do enough of this. But then somebody who does listen to it will turn around and tell you that's not true. You can't, you know what I'm saying? I can judge your critique of him and say your critique of him is in bad faith after everything that says I just don't like him. Every bar after that is in bad faith. Every bar before that though is fine. Like everybody has a right to not like this nigga, and that's the shit that I don't understand. It's like if y'all all just don't like him, like just say that. We don't have to tweet about it for fucking 5 years, justifying every little thing that you think is an actual critique of something that's happening when that's not what's happening. Because I listen to the music and I can hear the diversification of the presentation. You know what I mean? The changes in production, the changes in perspective, the way that his tone has changed over the years. In Iceman, he sounds like a dude who's very much trying to stand on business and very much trying to be defiant and saying, yo, I am who I am, but I just took a big ass L and I don't know how to handle it. He does sound a little bit insecure. He does, you know what I mean? But he also has every right to be like, yo, in my worst moment, I put out that album with Party Next Door last year and the shit was #1. So y'all can't stop me. You can say whatever you want. You can call me a pedophile. You can say that my music sucks, but can't none of y'all stop me. And he's in this very strange point in his career where it's like, I'm invincible and y'all can't stop me, but it sure does feel like I'm taking a lot of L's right now and I don't know what to do with that. And like he deserves props for talking about that. He deserves props for talking about that. A lot of people wouldn't be so candid about taking a fucking L. And not only does he do that, he does it in the first 5 minutes of the album. The first 5 minutes of the album, he is very candidly talking about hey man, people say my music isn't deep enough. And that I don't know how to feel about that. And hey man, like I just went through this really whack moment, man. And by the way, my father has cancer. And by the way, like I'm the elder in my family now, and I kind of don't know what to do with it. He said, I have to parent. He says, I have to be a father to my mother, and I'm basically, and he says that my son's grandfather, I'm like his older brother, and he says that in the first 2 minutes of the album. So that's saying I gotta be a dad to my mom, and I gotta treat my actual dad like he's my brother. I'm the elder in this family now because I'm Drake. I have bajillions of dollars, but it's kind of weird how I'm in this position where the people I'm supposed to look up to will give me guidance. I actually have to give them the guidance, and I kind of don't know what to do with it because I'm in this moment where I really needed help, and the
But it's
people I
hard
look
to
to for help, my mom and my dad, they're not my elders anymore. And this is the first 5 minutes of the album. And so somebody like you know what I'm saying, you're listening to it and you're like, I'm not
not
really
just
getting
catchy.
into it. Right. But for somebody like me that's been listening to him his whole career, I'm like, yo, man, that's a lot that he's saying that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's okay to just be like, I don't like him, because to me that's just the honesty. You know what I mean? It's like, and you don't have to like him. You know what I mean? But I wish a lot of people would just be like, yo, I just don't like this dude, because then they'll
I
go,
realized it.
but a lot of people will go, no, I like Drake a lot. I just think this album's bad. It's like, no, the fuck you don't.
No,
You don't like this dude,
I
man.
mean, no, I mean, because it's like I like to separate the art from the artist, so I don't
Yeah.
want to say I don't like this dude, so I don't like his art. But I will admit that during the battle, I got to hear more about the artist, so I got to hear more of the words in the art.
Mhm.
So it did make me look a little different. But it's all about the fact that I was a Drake fan. I just not that much of a Drake fan anymore, and I don't think it's no big deal about that. Like I think that's just art. I think that's just rap. I think that's just music in general. Some niggas that you're gonna rock with and expect certain things from, and that's why you go there. There's certain people that you're not, and you
Yeah.
make point going there.
And that's
At the same
okay,
time,
man. Like
yeah, and
I
I think
stopped
because
listening to Mob Deep. I stopped listening to Mob Deep after Murder Music, and it
I
was
didn't
just
like
because
Prodigy,
I
and
just
y'all told
couldn't.
me, yeah, I didn't like Prodigy. Y'all told me he was nice, and I actually was like, he better than I thought. That was like years later. So,
Yeah.
and I think, and that's the funny thing about the whole Drake thing is like, I didn't like Prodigy because all he did was shoot niggas. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And I guess I wasn't from New York and I didn't do the odds and all that type of stuff. But then the more and more I heard some of his later stuff, I was like, all right, I like this growth. I
Mhm.
like this growth. But what you're saying is Drake is growing. You just don't like him. And that's cool because there's a bunch
And
of
you're not
artists
hearing
that
it.
like
Yeah, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
you're choosing to not hear it because you just don't want to hear it. And like for me, it's like,
It gotta be involuntary though. 'Cause I don't think it's a choice. Like I think I would I think I'm stuck trying to I think you said this too. I think I'm stuck trying to give a fuck about what you're saying instead of just trying to enjoy the music. Maybe that's what it is. But at the same
yeah,
time, no, because I love bars that much. I think it's my
I
passion.
think I at one point bars to me was like chess
Efficacy.
pieces on a chessboard. Yeah, chess pieces on a chessboard, and like your weapons of choice. And then over time, I started to realize like these are words that people are using to represent how they feel about shit. And I started to redigest the things that people said, and I was like, what if that was you feeling that way? Like Prodigy's verse, I always listen to QU Hectic, I'll open my eyes to the streets where I was raised as a man and learned to use my hands as protection. The scuffles, throwing my raps to double. I'm coming from Queens, motherfucker, carrying guns and couples and wilding. A QU soldier. Like that one. And also, and give up the goods and like all the shit, like where it's just like, it's like, yeah, Prodigy's theme of his music is I'm a tough nigga and I'll shoot you and all that shit. But if you actually like listen to the things that he's actually saying, it's like, yo, man, and then you place yourself in the Queensbridge projects in 1993. These dudes were raised around trauma, and you know what I'm saying. And so, like, at some point, I stopped. listening to Pusha T as a rapper who's always rapping about cocaine, and started thinking about him in the context of a young man who grew up around the drug trade and like things that he saw, and what it felt like to like make millions of dollars off of the suffering of people whose lives are being destroyed by the thing that you're handing them. You know what I'm saying? And also like what it must feel like to be a human being who, like Dave East, a human being who grew up in poverty and trauma, and then I make it and I have millions of dollars and now I'm a star, and all his niggas keep getting killed. Have you noticed that with Davies?
Yeah.
How many times one of his mans is dead, all his niggas keep getting killed, and he keeps having to like look back and realize that like there's less and less of the people that he came up with that are around him anymore, and like what that must feel like to be somebody who came from nothing, and because I have this one talent, I used it, and now I'm over here and they expect me to be somebody different. So I go and I punch a nigga in his face and then I wind up on the news, but it's like, yo, this is just I just did something that anybody from my hood would have did. Like the culture shock of being who they are. And what it must feel like, and maybe I would rap about money every single time I touch the pen. Because, bro, do you understand that I came from Calliope Projects in New Orleans? Like, do you understand what it's like to be from where I'm from? I'm from nothing.
That's three
I'm
songs right
from,
there, though.
yeah.
That's three different songs right there. And you told me you were just talking about rap, but then you told me about three different things you could talk about, and that's the problem. I mean,
But they are, but that's the thing. They are talking about it. We are judging them. We're judging them because we're not putting ourselves in the shoes that they're in, right? But so I was talking about Wayne, I was talking about Davies, and I was talking about Prodigy in those examples, right? And Wayne and Prodigy are people who you could say, man, the theme of their shit is the same every time you hear it. And people that know poverty, that could tell you that poverty in New Orleans is some of the worst poverty in this country, right? And these dudes, for doing something that they didn't even know was special when they were doing it, to then become what they became, that in and of itself is kind of traumatic, to like to achieve that and then have to leave everything behind that you thought you knew,
but
and to see your family, they're still addicted to drugs and they treat you differently because like I'm just Dwayne, but I'm not
yeah, but
Dwayne
but but
anymore.
but, but at the
It's
same
like that's
time,
different.
you keep get this is all because you said if I came from that, I would just talk about money, and
No,
then I
no,
said, but then I then I then,
yeah,
then I said, but you named so many other things you could talk about, and that's what I would want. Like
mhm.
I think that's the whole. You keep naming stuff. You keep naming other topics that I would love for this artist to talk about.
Yeah. Why don't they talk about that shit?
When I'm
Yeah.
complaining about the fact that I'm not getting a whole bunch of stuff from a particular artist. Like that's
Mm.
what I want. All these other examples you're giving me is what I want. Like I said with Prodigy, I got so many of those examples later on. Like
Mm.
I got so many of those examples later on in this music. So it's like I saw the growth. And a rapper that I didn't like at first, like I saw growth. You know what I mean?
Even
And
but
it opened up his lyrics to be it opened up his younger lyrics to me. Like you were saying, like, okay, now I
yeah,
can see this because this makes more sense. You know?
even some of the most prolific artists who we look at as like people that have given you growth and given you different shit, their growth arc stops at a certain point. Like we criticize like Andre 3000, right? Like Andre 3000 said, I don't have shit to talk about anymore. When we openly said, bro, you could be talking about this, and this.
But
Some
at the
people
same
just get to a point where it's like, I've given you so much of myself, I don't have much else to give. And maybe they're just making raps to get a check, that
no,
they're not the same as who they was, like
you always come back to a point of why I'm sitting there critiquing them.
no, not you. I'm talking no. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
Like
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
like why why an artist's growth arc might stop where it could continue. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it's just like, it's like, hey man, I've done this for 2 decades, and I just want to not,
Yeah, but
like,
Andre's a
you
bad
know.
example because he never gave you the same song twice. So it's like it's
I'm
putting
I'm
it.
kind of talking about Wayne now in my head,
Oh yeah,
like
I don't like Wayne because
yeah,
yeah, it's
like
definitely stuff
Carter
that you
Six
can
was
talk
so
about.
bad. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I mean. Like, and there's things that he could talk about, and he's just not choosing to. And
yeah.
it's like, why the fuck does Nick Grant have a song featuring Ransom and Sahai where Ransom and Sahai is not on the album?
These niggas.
What the fuck was that? I thought I missed
But no,
it
but it's
because
but
I
that but
be
that's what they do nowadays, right? They just put out the album, then 2 weeks later they show the features, correct?
yeah, but
There's
this
contract
says
that's happening.
featuring Ransom and Sahai, and they're not on it.
What do you have? Because I definitely have that song with no features, with the words not saying featuring them, and I see these two niggas rapping. Because Nick Grant has the last verse on there. If I'm like,
Razor Ramon, Razor Ramon featuring Ransom and Sahai. Is that
Saha has
it?
Saha has the first verse, then come Ransom, and Nick Grant finishes it.
Told me it's a different world when you send bad boys in the hood.
Not on my shit.
You need to check your shit, buddy, because he
I'm listening to
definitely.
it right now.
Well, I don't know, because like I said, I definitely have
Razor Ramon, right? Play
what's
me
up, my
number
man
two.
Paul
Razor,
Day. That's
is that
Saha.
Razor Ramon?
Yes.
The first bar on
Yo, 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 yo.
you
Can't see your ass, nigga.
you don't want to see me. Can't see me. Fuck you, me. You can't see me. What's going on, man?
Love with you, man.